Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. You're welcome to Shexel Live. All right. So in this video, we're going to look at our, HSE Performance Monitoring Tool. We're going to customize the template. In fact, we're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. All right. So we don't have time on our side. We're going to smash in really quick because we're going to allocate an hour for this. Although the job order is actually for 3 days, right? Because we started yesterday and we are continuing today, and tomorrow we're going to finalize it. But then this live stream is actually from Monday to Friday, so we're not going to meet tomorrow, and I'm going to have the whole weekend to actually finalize. All right. So my name is Sel. I'm the founder of Shexel. I specialize in developing spreadsheet solutions using Microsoft Excel to make the health and safety job much easier, much exciting, to bring a lot of insight into the template, into your data. Right. So without wasting time, I'll just head over to my screen. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'll probably just bring some, share the file that was, presented to us to customize so that you can have context to this very work that we are doing. So I'll display it on my screen right now. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is what we are trying to customize, right? And this is how do I even share my screen, man? Let me just bring this one here rather. Okay, all right. So I believe that you can all see my screen. I just wanted to make sure that I send the stream here to the bigger screen so that I could actually have a look at this right on my, my MacBook. Okay. So basically what we're trying to do is that we are trying to customize this template. We're trying to convert it into our HSE Performance Monitoring Tool. And like all, HSE Performance metrics, we always have the objectives, we have the key performance indicators, and you're trying to track some targets, some actual against targets, right? And apart from that, also, we are looking at some lagging indicators, and we have a lot of lagging indicators in here. We are trying to account for manpower, we are trying to account for man hours, we are trying to estimate incident rate, right? So the complexity of this template is that we are accounting for each of the KPIs according to the client or the company and the contractor, right? So, and then we are also looking at various locations or various departments or various sites, right? So this scope is actually wide, both vertically and horizontally, because you're looking at, each contractor, client and contractor at each location or at each site. And the number of sites or number of departments, I don't know, they call it departments, but of course, that means that the scale of operation of this company is very wide. It's very big, right? Because departments has contractors and clients, and there are about 25 departments. All right. And then we are trying to simplify the whole process of building a database so that they can have a lot of reports for each of the key performance indicators. And then also we can be able to have all the statistics generated, all the incident rate and everything. Okay. So this looks like a very complex work, but it's quite simple because we've already developed the model for doing this. So we're going to go straight onto our model. Okay. All right. So I'll just minimize this and I'm going to open this. All right. So this is basically the HSE Performance Monitoring Tool that we are using. Okay. This is what we are customizing. And we have organized it in a very strategic way that is very user-friendly, very intuitive. And we have a section for building database. We have of targets, We have a section for building database of actuals, and we have various other reports. Okay, so we're gonna just continue from where we stopped. And if we just recall, we were able to build a structure of the template. Okay, so basically we brought in all the key performance indicators here, and then the actual, also we did a calculation for the various KPIs and the parameters that are relevant. There are some that you need to do summation and all of that. All right, and we did mention that once we are done, we're going to shift all of these calculations somewhere at the back. All right, the last end, because there are quite a lot of them here, a lot of hidden calculations in here. So we're going to shift all of them here as well, and then we can be able to make it very user friendly. Okay, so making it user friendly means that there shouldn't be too many things that confuse them. And then again, what we're going to do is that we're going to make sure that all of these list of KPIs that are going to be on the on the column titles, so like all of these stuff, we're going to create another simple template where the people who are on the ground will just use to input their reports. I mean, it's gonna that simply means we are changing the format of the monthly report as well, so that it's easy for whoever is going to be using this template, because whoever is using this template is going to be building a consolidated database, right? Consolidated report. So you're going to be collating report from all personnel from various sites or various departments. So all you need to do is just copy the information in their report and then transpose. So you're going to just paste, and all is going to populate on the chart, right? So that means that, sorry, on the table. So you just select the name of the department, the month that they are presenting the report. You already know the working days, and then you just copy all the information and paste. All right, so that makes it much easier for the user or the manager. Okay, all right, so without wasting time, I'm just gonna head straight into it. All right, so basically what I'm trying to do now is that I want to make sure that I start to fix all of these hash ref errors, because we replaced them and they've all been moved out of various cells that we were connecting them to, and particularly the pivot tables, right? So they've all vanished and we need to correct all of them. So all I need to do is just unhide the worksheet, because there's a worksheet in there. How do I know that I'm using the correct? Let me just do a bit of reverse engineering, right? When it comes to this stuff, we do what we call reverse engineering. We just trace back to where we can find the reference cells, right? So if I click on the cell here and I look in the formula bar, right? That's a formula bar right in there. What it means is that I can easily notice that the KPI is there. It is a sum of two box stock, and then it's target KPI, and there's a cell reference. So the target KPI is actually the sheet. So usually whenever you are trying to understand this function, there's the name, we know the sheet name, and we know the cell reference. Okay, so all I need to do is just unhide. I'll unhide the target KPI, right? So once I unhide, take note that once I replace all the names, the rest have vanished. So I just have to open the pivot table field list and I'll bring everything back. So to access the pivot table field list, what you need to do is just right click, go all the way down, click on show field list, and it pops up, right? So that's it right here. So all I need to do is just check all the key performance indicators. So these are the ones that we introduced into the table, right? So I'm going to just check each and every one of them. But as I'm checking, I need to make sure that they show as sum of, and then it has to be right here. And then the values is going to be here. That is how come we have it arranged like this. So just want to make sure we replicate same. Anything that comes as count off, we need to change it back to sum of. Okay, so the first one just messed up, right? So this has just moved here. I'm going to just shift it slowly down here. All right, and then I'll just change to sum of. So I'm just doing it as I go, so that I don't have to come back trying to go between these stuff to find which one is count off, because sometimes it can be really annoying that you're trying to scroll all the way up, because what you can do is that you can actually expand the size here to see what is in there, but it's not enough. It's not big enough. So if you have a lot of data in there or KPIs in there, you're going to be struggling a little bit. So we are working as we go. All right, so it's moved down here. We need to make sure that we shift it back, and then we change it to sum off, right? The sum of simply means that we are summing up the content of the column for this very KPI, not to count them as unique entries. Unique entries means you are counting the number of times it has appeared in the cell. An entry has appeared, whether it includes 0 or not. Once there is 0, it's going to count it as an entry, but you rather want sum of. So this is basically taking us into pivot tables, right? So pivot table isn't very complex. We just have to understand that, you know, there are some field lists that we can arrange in whichever formats. You can just play around with these stuff, and you're going to arrange some of the charts in very nice ways. Arrange the table in various ways just to make sure you're able to extract data, right? Okay, so I'm going to move this one over here as well. Okay, I think we are almost done. All right, so this is pivot table. We've been able to bring back all the key performance indicators. All right, so what we're going to do next is we need to now go back, because everything is now showing as sum of, and that is correct. So we go back to the targets, and then we locate each of these KPIs. So this is going to take a little while. So let me just move fast. Given the fact that it's a live session, we cannot really skip like I would have skipped and, you know, quickly jump the step, and then we show another video where I'm already done, right? So this we're looking for safety meeting, right? Hit enter. Hazard awareness training. Take 5 training. Take 5 training. PTO training. PTO training. So there are a lot of interesting terminologies when it comes to health and safety, right? And that is the essence of customization. You want to make sure we adapt this template to your own unique set of key performance indicators. Firefighting training conductor, right? Okay. So this is just for you to know that we are available at all times to support, because that's the beauty of, you know, selling template, not necessarily selling, but we are all supporting in making the world a better place by making sure that all the challenges everybody is having, we are able to find solution to them, and there's actually exchange of value, right? So we are not really selling you templates, we are supporting, we are providing support, and we can always jump on a call. Safety culture, behavior. So once you grab a template, we are able to customize it for you. So there's no running away. Nobody will run away. Like what it might be for some people that they sell something and they probably want to vanish because they know that what they sold, they cannot really provide any support, but we don't do that, right? We provide the best of support. Safety culture and behavior change. I've been here for long, too much. Safety culture. Okay, there you have. All right, take 5 reports submitted. Take 5 reports submitted. Take 5 reports. Workplace inspection report. I want to make sure I correct this spelling so that it doesn't. Workplace correction report, because the spelling wasn't right, so I need to make sure I correct it before. After completing, then there's need to correct, and it's gonna mess it up again, right? Take 5 workplace workplace. There you are. Workplace. Okay, so I'm gonna go to actual as well and locate workplace. It's under inspection. All right, so I come back to the targets, and then almost like we started all over again, I just refresh the workbook, right? And then it's gonna vanish, so I need to check it again, right? So that's basically the reason why you don't have to refresh workbook. I mean, rename some of the KPIs, because once we rename, you'll have to correct it, right? Workplace inspection. Okay, there you are. Planned tax observation reported. Planned tax observation reported. has job hazard analysis, risk assessment conducted, alcohol and drug, all right, speed adherence checks conducted, okay, corrective action raised, corrective action raised, correction active completed, okay, safe work procedure developed, safe work procedures reviewed, management visit, where's management visits? Okay, I need to confirm that there's management visits somewhere, right? Management visits. Management visits. Okay, maybe, let me see. All right, so we had a meeting with the person, and he asked us to change one KPI, which I did. And I think that was the management PTO training or something. I need to remember. And I changed it. I've forgotten the requirement that the user told us that we should change one KPI, which I did. And that is the reason why perhaps, okay, I'll do elimination. I'll just find out, simultaneous equation by elimination. I'm going to eliminate all of them and find which one is the outstanding, right? So I'm just going to continue with the rest, not to waste too much time, okay? Inspection, HSE inspection. Housekeeping inspection. So this is actually the boring part of the whole thing, right? Because it's very repetitive and quite boring, eh? And you need to pay attention also, because you can easily make a mistake. Housekeeping inspection. Visibly felt leadership. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's see. Okay, visibly felt leadership is there. Senior supervisor safety interaction. So there are a lot of interesting KPIs that this company must really have a very robust management system. Safety audit with supervisors. Quarterly mock drills. Rescue call out practice. Quarterly building evaluation. Fire extinguisher training. Okay. So So which one is outstanding? Management visits. Control F. Oh, I don't have management visits in here. So I need to introduce management visits. Perhaps I missed it in the list of key performance indicators. Let me see. That's part of risk management. Risk management has a total of 11. A total of 12. It is possible it may probably be my own setup, my own KPI that was there, right? So I just have to verify under risk management. Yes, so there's nothing like management visits. I'm just gonna delete it because that was there. I think I forgot to delete this one. So I'll just unmerge this. Then I can delete this because there's no, KPI for it. It's not part of the scope. Okay, so now I'm gonna go straight to this one as well. I'll just click on it and then I'll find that it corresponds, right? So basically the reference cell is the fact that it's in the pivot table, and basically it's an indicator for objectives sheets, and there's a cell reference. So I just have to go now to unhide indicators for objectives. So these names are just random names. These are just random names. All right, so there are some other entries here that we are using to pick some formulas. So I'll just push them all the way down. Just to make sure we don't tamper with it. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and select everything. So a lot of parameters we're going to be selecting, but we want to focus on the, where the summations are. So we have the average. In fact, the average number of workers is better. I change everything. That is total manpower, total workers. So let me just go in there and change it. We'll fix it later. All right, so if you have company personnel, contractor personnel, then this is going to be total personnel, right? All right, just to make sure it is consistent. So I'll go to the indicators for objectives. I'll just refresh all. Okay, so I'll take my time to select everything. So there we have a total personnel is now in there. It is sum of. We would be focusing on the KPIs that are in this very table. The KPIs that are in this very table. So just to focus on the important stuff. Okay, so the KPIs in that table are these ones. Okay, we'll be doing it for fatality as well. So I'll just keep on with the fatality. Should be total fatality, not the. Okay, so I'll just continue. We already have it selected because these were summations, so that's already addressed. So I'm just gonna select this, add it to the list. Then I continue with the relevant KPIs, right? But bear in mind that as we select, we need to make sure that it goes all the way down here. So I need to probably introduce some, create space so that we could see what is going on in there. So I select this. It's gonna move here. We need to fix it. We drag it all the way here. We right click and then we change it to sum of, because it has to be sum of, right? Today's work is a lot of KPIs, right? So We may not really cover much within that time because it's like an hour that we're going to allocate for this, and there's no time to waste also for tomorrow. So once we are done with this live, I'm going to continue. That means that the next time we're going to meet is probably to just show you how the whole thing went, how we're able to complete the work, and then we can all appreciate how far we've come with this customization. So there's something that we usually use about 3 days to do. Every job order that we get, we can actually finish much earlier. Okay, we can finish much earlier, and that is how we even surprise people, because we tell you 2 days, and then the next 24 hours we are already done. But it doesn't mean that we are actually using, it doesn't mean that we don't have anything doing. We actually have to sacrifice time to prioritize the work, because our working culture is a bit different. We like to smash things really, really quick. We don't have time to waste on any stuff. And again, we like to really jump on a call to finalize and agree on a lot of things. So usually when you actually request for anything that we need to do for you, and you're not availing yourself for meeting, we're probably not going to start, because it means that we'll end up wasting time just doing something, and you probably come back and say that wasn't what I was expecting or something. So it is always important that we have a meeting, and that is how come we always request you to book a meeting, and it is absolutely free. No need to pay anything. Just book a meeting. We have a conversation. There's clear expectations on what we are doing for you, and then once we are done, we're going to revert in as explained, right? Because usually we're going to tell you exactly when we're going to revert, and it's always not more than 3 days. So this is taking some time just because of how it is. There's no way around it. So anything that you develop, it takes a lot of effort, but the final product is what really matters. So the hours that we put in, you probably wouldn't see it, right? Okay, we are almost done, right? So if you're joining for the first time, this is Shexel Live. This is the forum where we demonstrate how we customize our templates. We let you understand how human we are as people, right? So this is basically to let you see how we are, how we do stuff. And the fact is that when you visit our website, you probably be engaging with bots. We know that there could be some bots answer your questions, but it doesn't mean that we will not respond. We will equally respond. Sometimes the time zones are different, right? And when you're in a different time zone and you reach us, all right, what it means is that you'll probably not get us instantly. So you need to bear with us, especially when you have any need for support. We will definitely revert. All you need to do is just book a meeting. In fact, I like meeting booking than even the live chat, because the meeting booking, we all put in effort to meeting, right? As opposed to just responding to a chat. Okay, so now that we've introduced the targets, the objectives, right? The objectives. Now take note that we don't have data for the objectives, so we need to make sure that the KPI, we provide some data for it, because we need dummy data, both for leading and lagging, just to make sure that we are populating some information in all of these stuff to make sure that everything is going smooth, right? So just gonna provide some data here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for this. Okay, so with these ones, I'll just do random. Okay, I'll just come here. Okay, no, we actually need data, so that's basically what it is. But sometimes we like to use our own database, dummy data that is in there, because the data actually makes it, very, very fast. So because once you are developing all the charts and everything, we know that there's data populating, right? Okay, so we have some data in there. Let me just refresh the workbook. I go to indicators for objectives. You notice they've all populated, right? So we can now proceed. There are some circular references where formulas refer to its own, either directly or indirectly. We're gonna face that, no issue. All right, so we are getting hash ref error on one of the KPIs. That is something we're supposed to delete because we don't have unsafe condition in there. So I'll just go ahead and delete. That is this very one. Okay, so I'll just refresh all and everything will be, there wouldn't be any hash ref error right in there. So, okay, so I'll just go into the objectives and targets and then I'll continue with the actual. That's a lot of work, right? Safety meeting. It looks like today we're going to use that for just picking up these values. The safety meeting. There you are. There you are. So safety meeting is right there. Hazard awareness training. Hazard awareness training. Take 5 training. PTO training. Firefighting, conducting, firefighting. Safety culture and behavioral change training. Take 5 reported submitted. Workplace inspection reports submitted. Planned tax observation conducted. Job hazard analysis. Risk assessment conducted. Alcohol and drug test. Corrective action raised. Correcting active closed or completed. Corrective all right, so I just have to make sure that everything is correct, right? Because we don't have time to waste. Corrective action. Okay, this one is for speed adherence. Speed adherence checked, conducted. Speed adherence check. Corrective action raised. Corrective action completed. Safe work procedure developed. Safe work procedure revised or reviewed. Safety and environment inspection. Safety and environment inspection. Housekeeping inspection. Visibly felt leadership. Senior supervisor safety interaction. Safety audits with supervisor. These are very interesting KPIs. That offers a lot of opportunity to learn something new, right? Safety interaction by supervisor is very important. Quarterly mock drill. So this simply means safety is everybody's responsibility. everybody actively participates, right from top management to rank and file. Rescue call out practice. Quarterly building evacuation. Fire extinguisher training. Okay, so we literally brought back, all of these stuff. I just have to merge these cells because they are merged. I can pick the formatting and then just merge all of them like this. Okay, so that is out of the way. And then we didn't touch the lagging indicators, so these are already fixed. Incidence rates, there's a problem there, we're gonna fix that. Okay, so now we're done with objectives and target. The essence of this is the fact that once you have all your data in there, you can actually just check how far you're going towards the end of the year against the target. In fact, we could even equally introduce the percentage in here, but we have it on the dashboard. Okay, so this is already out of the way. We just fix the rest later on. So indicators of objectives, you can hide it now. Target KPI, we can do that also, or we may bring it back when we are fixing the other one. No issues. So what we're going to do next is that we have this also to fix. That's interesting. So we're going to unhide the relevant reference cells, right? So the reference cell is coming from indicators for month report indicators. So we look in here in the formula bar, we see that there's sum of HSE observations that's coming from month report indicators, and that's the cell that it is referenced, right? So what we need to do is unhide month report indicators, and then we have work to do. We need to bring back all those entries again, all the key performance indicators. Now the good thing is that we didn't tamper with the sum of the various incidents, right? Because these first aid cases are all related to individual first aid cases. So all of these are summations. So we didn't tamper with it. So we just quickly move on to this stuff, and we have work to do again because these are just new entries. Usually they always move to different rows, and we need to make sure we align them properly. If it was an old entry, which we may have revised, it wouldn't go to the other side, right? But if it's a new entry, then it's gonna act as if it's just coming in. So you need to choose a position that doesn't follow, the format that is already in there. But when it comes to the old ones, there's Excel is able to catch some latest changes that have been in the template. So when you select it back, it goes back to how it was before. Okay, so luckily for us, these are all going smooth, and they're all showing as sum of. All right, perfect. So we're done. So we need to make sure that, of course, this is monthly report, and we have this custom date that we use to filter, right? So that's a custom date right there. If I select everything just shows. This custom date is quite different from the normal date slicer, right? Because we are starting with 2021 and then the month continues. If it was the other way around, it's gonna mix up. All right, so that's just a way of going around it. I think that we missed something, right? This one didn't go to the right place. So just shift it back again and make sure that it's there as sum of. Okay, so we just change it to sum of. Now these sum of that you've been seeing, sometimes we could get rid of them, but it's a lot of work, right? We can remove all of them. In some of the templates, like the light version, we remove them. Okay, so now we go to this and we figure out how do we present the data, right? The company doesn't have property damage and near miss, so there's nothing here, but we need to find some entries for it. So let's go to the actual source data. Let's see what we can put in there. So now we are trying to figure out what will be relevant report to fill some of the spaces, right? Of course, we've introduced all injuries, and we need to now include all injuries without LTI. So I'll just go back to the month report and then I'll check out the all injuries without LTI. So there's all injuries and all injuries without LTI. These are basically first aid cases, medical treatment case, restricted work case as well, but it excludes fatality. I don't know if I included fatality, because if you are trying to account for all injuries without LTI, how important is LTI than fatality? So we probably have to include fatality. I'll just try and have a conversation with him. Maybe we need to exclude fatality, right? Because we only consider the total recordable case minus LTI. Okay, well, that's up to them. So we'll try and find out how logic is this. If you're trying to account for all injury without LTI, then maybe anything above LTI should equally be included, like fatality. All right, so that's just by the way. So we go back to the month indicators. I'll refresh the workbook because I just renamed the column title for all injuries without LTI, so it must have moved out. So I'm gonna fix it back again. I bring it back. Okay, then I'll start to fix it. So we're gonna bring this one here. Let me just copy it. I go here, I'll just paste it outside so I could see. Or let me just okay, how do I do it? Okay, I'll probably do it one at a time, right? So I just copy the name. It's just the name I need. All injuries. So this section is going to be all injuries. Or I'll just bring it here rather. And then here will be all injuries without LTI. Okay, so I just use the equal sign. I hit enter. I go here and I select it. All injuries. All injuries. And then all injuries without LTI. Okay, so with the calculation for all injuries, I need to double check all injuries. That is, let me try to do it again. All injuries is literally everything excluding, that's pretty much this total recordable case, that's AO4 plus first aid case, AJ4, right? All right, so I fixed it. I'll just refresh all. So we're getting some, some circular reference in there, but this is something we're going to fix later. It's not an issue. If I'm doing some error checking, it'll probably tell me where the circular reference is. That is this very cell. There's a circular reference in there. D4 plus E4. I would definitely fix that when I'm done. Okay. So that is really the essence of quality checking after we are done, to make sure everything is, correct, going smooth. Okay. So right now I have fatalities, I have these ones, but I'm supposed to, replicate his lagging indicators. And I have these ones. That's a total of 8. And then we have how many space in there? This is basically 9, right? So we can actually do something. So fatality, we didn't change, restricted work first, all of these we didn't change, but there's no motor vehicle, so we get rid of motor vehicle. There's no environmental spill, so I need to find out which lagging indicators would have to represent. Fatality, first aid, lost time, restricted work case, first aid, total recordable. Okay, so we can bring in total recordable. All right, so we have 6 and 8. Okay, so let me just bring this one here, and I'll bring this one here. Then I could equally shift this entry. I could just copy and, because I'm moving it around, and then I'll bring it here. All injury. And then this can come up as well. So sorry, it looks boring because that's pretty much what it is. It's a bit boring at this point, right? Because we are trying to, analyze properly to make sure that we are not missing anything, right? So that's basically what it is, that is going to be boring along the line, just because we are trying to make sure that we are not missing anything. Okay. All right. So the number of workers that I renamed is showing as href error, which I'm going to be fixing later on. So at least I'm able to account for anything that is actually leading to an error. Okay. So we have brought in the lagging indicators. There's an extra space which we didn't have anything to input there. We're going to move on to the health and safety leading indicators. And the leading indicators are quite a lot, right? That's another thing. There are a lot of them. So I'll just try to take it one at a time, right? So how many are they? There's a total of 26. So 26. How many columns we have for registering these KPIs, right? We have 1, 2, 3. So 26 divided by 3. All right, so each could take 8, right? So 8 on each column, right? So 8 here is gonna be all right, we can do that. So 8, 8, 8 plus extra 1. So we're gonna need an extra space to accommodate the last one. All right, so let's go in there and let's select the first one. Has to be maybe 8. All right, 8. Control C. All right. There's extra space to accommodate another one, so we can just add that as well. And then I'm gonna proceed to the next. So that'll be this. That's a total of 8, or let's do 9. All right, and the last set is this one. That is 8. All right, so now we have them in here. So all you need to do is go back to the same process we started, right? Safety meeting. So unfortunately, this is a bit boring, right? But that's what it is. Hazard awareness training. Take 5 training. So someone could argue that we could probably move faster if you're able to just arrange everything in order and just use a cell reference. You can actually do that, but you cannot guarantee the arrangement of the pivot table, right? Because we could just use a cell reference where we'll lock just the column, and then we could allow the number part of the cell label to move, and then we just drag it. That's actually a smart way around it, but the thing is that the pivot table is not arranged in order like this, so we cannot guarantee that. So it's better we just go this way. When it comes to Excel, there are many ways to kill a cat, right? So whichever method that works for you, you can just use that. All right, so this method is how I quality check everything firefighting training. Safety culture and behavior change training. Take 5 reported submitted. Take 5 reported. Take 5 reported. Workplace inspections reports submitted. I think that we can take some insight into, these KPIs. They are very, very robust, right? Because it's looking at a lot of things. Plan, task observation. So if you're a safety professional and you want some inspiration on what key performance indicators are relevant for your company, this is something that you can look into, right? There's a lot of interesting KPIs. Plan, task observation conducted. And then we move on to job hazard analysis conducted. Risk assessment conducted. Alcohol and drug conducted. Drug test. Speed adherence checks. Corrective action raised. Corrective action completed. Safe work procedure developed. So what I'm doing actually is a lot of insight for those who want to customize. It is good that we are not moving too fast or exhausting the entire scope of the work right now. So what it means is that this video is going to upload. All right. This video is going to be specific to this very area, as we are planning to just use an hour, but we are almost up. And I'm just considering whether we should just keep going. Housekeeping inspection. Okay. Visibly felt leadership. Safety supervisor, safety interactions. Senior supervisor, safety interaction. I like that KPI. Safety audit with supervisors. Safety audit with supervisors must actively be involved, right? That's good stuff. We are talking about safety leadership, right? Every person who is leading a team must be actively involved in safety, must drive safety performance, must own safety, must be committed to safety. And that's how we actually ensure that all followers, all workers are on board. They are able to control maintain safe work practices. Everybody maintain good behavior at the workplace. Rescue call out practice. Rescue. Quarterly building evacuation. I think we are almost done. extinguisher training. Extinguisher training. Okay. All right. So basically, we've finished with these entries. We don't have anything on environmental indicators. So I'm just going to delete these ones. Okay. So basically, we have the, the monthly reports templates. We will probably fix the number of workers later on. This is coming from another sheet called month report indicators average. Okay, so I'll just try and find it. It's right in here, right? Okay, let me just look at the cell reference. Month report. Okay, so it used to be in the pivot table, right? So I need to bring it back, right? So total number of workers. I think I selected that. Okay, I didn't select that. Total number of workers, right? Total number of workers. And with that, it has to be average because it's going to sum up the entry. So we need to make sure that this one, it is an average. Or else all the entries for workers is going to sum it up and it's going to give us a very big number, right? So just go in here, hit the equal sign, and I select. Okay, so we don't have any worker registered in the template or the database. So we've been able to fix this. The next is the statistics, right? So with the statistics also, we can focus on the most important one, like the summations to most of the parameters. All right, but maybe they want to see for each contractor as well. So we need to probably consider all of them. And that is a matter of choice. They can get rid of it if they don't want, right? So we can look at fatality for both the client and then the contractor, lost time injury for client and contractor, medical treatment for client and contractor, reportable injury for client and contractor, restricted work for client and contractor. All of these stuff, we're going to select all of them and they're going to be at the top. And we have all the injuries following. They're going to have all the leading indicators following as well. So take note that they've already started messing up. They are trying to distort the. So we need to make sure that we are dragging them to where they're supposed to be. So just drag it here. It's supposed to be sum of, not count of. So having statistics like this helps you to, at a glance, all the statistics you are generating, no need for any manual entry. All right, so we just keep going. This one comes here, remove it. We change to count sum of. Same with, okay, we're done. Okay, we are good. All right, perfect. All right, so we have all these leading indicators in the statistics, and statistics is only about lagging indicators. You can equally have statistics for leading indicators. So that's exactly what we are doing. Okay, so we have everything in there, right? The quarterly audit building inspection came to the other side. So let's see, is there anything that is showing as count off? This very one is showing as count off, so we need to find it, right? So we've summed it up. So we've been able to work on the statistics, right? Statistics is very, very important. You can filter by each of the departments and everything's going to update. We can narrow down the scope to look at whichever month it is. You can expand like this. With a lot of data in here, it means that you can visualize a lot of interesting stuff, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make sure that these ones are at the top, because always you try to bring the manpower. Let me see if we added the personnel, right? So let me try to open it up and see. Okay, we didn't add the senior staff and the rest. So the scope is quite wide. We are looking at senior staff. And then total company personnel, manpower, all of that. And total personnel. So all these stuff you're seeing, if we didn't have a template like this, then having a statistics itself is going to be cumbersome. All of these stuff we are doing is to pre-populate. We are pre-populating everything, which means that you're not going to be doing any other thing except building your database, because all of these stuff are going to populate automatically. Once you start building your database, all of these stuff are going to be populating. So all you focus on is just keep building your database. So building it looks a bit, cumbersome, complex and everything. But once you are using it and you already have your data, everything is smooth. Okay, so we've selected everything. Mandates lost from LTR. Okay, let's select that as well. Yeah, we have everything in here. All of these stuff are the statistics that are relevant, except the fact that we need to group them and make sure that the ones that are relevant, the ones that are related, we put them at the same place, and we can use colors to change how they look, because now it looks boring. I mean, there are ways of organizing data. You could just, table layout, it could be various formats and all of that, but it's all up to you. Some may prefer to make it, bring in all the borders and everything. All right, so we are sort of focusing on just the nut and bolt, and you can do all the aesthetics, right? The aesthetics often is just a matter of choice, right? Trying to make it look cool, that is based on your own preference. And that is actually what it is, because usually when if you are working for a company, the company have a unique colors, right? So what it means is that you want to replicate the unique colors of your companies. And we probably don't know those colors, and we cannot predict so we are just doing something that's generally applicable, something very subtle, and you can do all the, the extreme stuff. So here it's all about arranging them. Those that are related, we pull them together, like that. Okay, so this stuff is going to come up. Some are man hours, some are related to man hours. So it's a lot of stuff in here that we need to move around. And we need to make sure that they're all relevant, right? They're all related. So basically, when it comes to pivot tables, you can always move KPIs around, right? So we are looking at the demo of staff, right? So the various junior staff, senior staff, another senior staff. So that comes up. And then junior staff, and then we have the total staff. To sum it up, the man hours comes down because we're not on the man hours. Yes, this section is for man hours, so I'll just pull it up. And then we have, company man hours. Yeah, so basically we are just going back to how, the template was structured. And then we try to replicate same. Okay, so this section is something that it can take some time. So what it means is that junior staff, senior staff, both grades of senior staff, sum up to company staff, there's contracted, there's total staff. Later on, we can even get rid of the ones that are not even relevant. So right now, we are just bringing in everything that they may choose to agree that, okay, let's move this out, let's move this out. Okay, so this first section is for man hours, okay, manpower, and then the rest will be for man hours. So this section is for manpower. Let's give it a different color. We can give it maybe this color, and we give the font, and then white font, and then we move on to manpower, right? The manpower, we have the junior man hours, senior man hours, another grade of senior man hours, and then we could have contractor man hours, or company, right? Company follows, and then contractor follows. And then there's a total man hours. So that's pretty much what it is. I'll just pull all of this up because we are done with the man hours section, and I could give it a unique color as well. So with these colors, I mean, it's all up to you. Whichever color that works nice for you, you can do that. Okay, and then we have the man days loss. So now we go to the lagging indicators. For the lagging indicators, let's give it red, right? That's what we always do, give it red. These are all the lagging indicators they are tracking. And then these are all the leading indicators they are tracking. So at least you can, look at it and be like, okay, these are all related. And for that reason, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? In terms of the color, yeah, that's basically, so on this statistics, so this is basically the statistics, right? If you select HR, you're gonna get data for HR. Maintenance, you're gonna get data. So imagine you have a large number of sites, right? You could have a long list of sites, and then you can filter by each of the months. Now all of these populate automatically by default just because they're all coming from the target source data. So that's the beauty of it. So we are done with the statistics. The next thing we're going to be doing is to fix the trend charts and all of that. Okay, so this is going to take some time. So we are still 1 hour 7 minutes into this. Let's get going, right? I think we can keep going at least for the trend KPI. Now trend KPI, take note that we need to bring back all the leading indicators and then the lagging indicators. So let's go in order to detect that. We click on the chart and we're going to try find where is it coming from, right? If you click on the chart, it tells us that this chart is a series, right? We are looking at leading indicators and it's coming from a leading indicator sheet. So there's a sheet called leading indicators. We need to find it. In order to scroll to the sheet, sometimes you may want to just be doing this. No, just right click on this section, right click here, and then you can see the content in here, right? So we're going to find leading indicators. So there we have it. We click on it, and that is the leading indicators. Notice that we changed all the KPIs. So we're going to, and then we deleted the ones that were in there already. So we're going to bring back all the leading indicators. So where are they? We open the pivot table field, and then we start. So you're going to continue hazard awareness, take 5, and then let's make sure that as we are selecting, it maintains where it's supposed to be, because sometimes it can move around. So the way to move, we right click, we push it down, we change it to sum off, right? So all of these stuff are quite new, so they're not following procedure, right? They're not following the steps they're supposed to be following. These are, deviant KPIs. They don't want to respect the status quo, right? But these ones are quite good. Yeah, these are all good KPIs. They are following the status quo. No issues. You keep going, right? Everything is smooth, isn't it? All right. Now, when it comes to even, all these numbers of KPIs, now there are quite a lot of them. At first, it used to be just a few. So when you have a lot of KPIs like this type of chart is not advisable. You cannot have this kind of pie chart accounting for all these numbers of KPIs, right? Because we used to have just about just a few of them, but now we have a lot. So that means that this type of chart it's a matter of choice, right? It's a matter of choice. Usually, if you have a bar chart, it makes sense, right? So now that we are done, we want to make sure that we are changing the look of the chart. So we want to make it very nice. So let's give it 500 here, and then 500 over here as well. And then we try to increase the height to just change the look a little. Let me just, okay, this is not bad. This is okay. Yeah, so this is a bit cool. It's nice and sexy, right? All right, perfect. Now take note that it's a matter of choice, but we could see that toolbox stock is accounting for the maximum of the KPIs. Okay, so we brought in the chart, and that is good. We're done with the lagging indicators. When we go into the trend chart, the trend dashboard, we've already fixed so you can see that we fixed it. So we're gonna make sure that everything is smooth. Now it's left with the lagging indicators. So the same thing, we open it up, we try to find where the lagging indicators are. That's a report for lagging indicators. Now the thing is that we don't have entries, right? So everything is smooth, everything is the same, but except that we don't have data for lagging indicators. So let's try and give it some data, because we want to make sure whatever is on the chart, you are seeing it, right? Okay, so we have some data. Actually, we have some data. So I'll just increase it. And then I would go to the lag indicators. I'll refresh the workbook. Okay, so take note that we have it for some of the, so maintenance doesn't have any entries. HR has, right? That's how I wasn't showing, but HR was selected. So let's select everything. So basically we've been able to establish that there's data for it. So we go to the trend chart. You notice here it start populating. So I intentionally didn't want to tamper with this. So I just want to go here and I paste over it. I bring back the formatting, right? Now, this is not many KPIs. It's supposed to be a lot, right? So that I can match up nicely, but it's just a few of them. Maybe there are additional ones we need to add. So let me just go back into the source data, actual source data, and let's look what extra KPI. We focus on these ones. These are the main ones, right? Just these ones. How many, right? These are 6. In fact, what we have in there is not up to 6. It looks like it's just about 5. So let's go back to the lag indicators. Let's try and find out which additional KPIs for lagging are we supposed to keep in the dashboard, right? So I come to lagging indicators, and there's quite a lot, except that we have to choose. So I'll right-click, go to show pivot table field list. I'll come all the way here, and then I have quite a number of lagging indicators to look at, but I probably want to consider all injuries. We're going to look at all injuries. We're going to look at, okay, we can do with contractor without contractor. Maybe if it's not necessary. Let's focus on the summary. So we're going to do total recordable case. We're going to do all injuries. We're going to do all injuries without LTI. No, let's exclude that. Let's focus on just these 4, because the rest are all summing up to this. Lost time injury for client and contractor, all is giving us the total for lost time injury. So if we register any of this, that's going to be double entry, right? So we are focused on the main categories. So these are the main categories: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, all injuries without LTI. I don't think, probably. Let's just add it. Anything that we add that's not relevant, we can take it out. Okay. So we go to the trend chart, and now we see that everything is back. We could just copy this formatting, Control C, Control V. Now we introduce the format. Now what we need to do next is that we need to make sure that this section, right? This section used to be for tracking the trend, but where is the trend coming from? I'll show you, right? We're gonna fix all of these later on. Okay. So we unhide. Now this trend is coming from another sheet, right? It's called KPI trend. All right. Now this is how the KPI trend looks like. This is another pivot table. So I'll just open pivot table field list, and this is mainly for the leading indicators. Okay. So I'm just gonna take my time, select all the rest to start populating. Now take note that anyone that is a deviant, any deviant KPI I bring in here, everybody must conform, right? So we don't want any deviant KPI moving around. Everybody must follow the process, follow the status tool. Now the reason why they are not following is because Excel hasn't catch it. There's Excel cache. Just like when you are visiting a web browser, your browser will cache the site and download it. Next time when you visit, it doesn't take time to load. These KPIs were not an old KPI, just new ones that were registered in there. So Excel doesn't know it in the database or in its cache. So it's acting weird. It's moving around. So we need to make sure we bring it back. So we're literally, selecting all of these stuff to make sure that they populate as required. Now this one is a deviant one. We just bring it back. It's supposed to, be in that lane. All right. So I think we are done with the leading indicators, right? There are not many, right? So if I come in here, the trend chart, right? If I select this, everything is back, right? So this section is data validation that is taking its source from here. And the reason is that whenever we select any KPI, like we select this, it's supposed to give us the trend for January to November. It's ending at November, just because in the trend chart, we did not include December, right? If I go all the way here in the trend chart, we have the December showing. So if I select any KPI, it's going to populate here. It's going to give me the graph. So we've been able to fix the trend charts. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is to just fix these ones. Okay. So number of workers, let's do the reverse engineering. If I click here, #ref error. So how do I know that there's a where is the error coming from. So we go here, average number of workers. Now the table column header was called average number of workers. That's why we are using average of average. That's like repeating the names, right? But it's all good. We're going to indicators for objectives. Indicators for objectives A2. So it means that we are back to indicators for objectives again, right? So we go back to indicators for objectives. And then we need to show that we bring in total manpower, right? Because it used to be average number of workers and we change it to total personnel. All right, so that's total personnel. And it is there as average. Is there, okay, it's supposed to be sum, because if you are registering it as total, what is going to happen is that all the entries within the column is going to sum it up, and that will give us wrong estimates. So we change it to average because we are entering number of workers every month. Over time, it has to strike the average. So we come to the trend chart, and then we're going to hit equal sign, and then we come over here, indicators for objectives, and then we select. Now take note that we don't have any data for manpower, right? If you go into the source data, we've not registered anything for manpower. Okay, we have something for manpower. So let's see what's happening. Okay, so what it means is that the average number of workers, the total manpower, where is it? Total, this company manpower, total personnel, that's total personnel, that's right here. So what I'm going to do is that I need to just go back and check what is happening. Okay, for total indicators for objectives, average. Okay, so if it was sum, let's look, because maybe it's striking the average over time. Okay. So that's pretty much, that's what it is. So it has struck an average, and because of it is probably, how do I even put it? I mean, it has struck the average, and the average is probably almost 0. That's pretty much it. If you introduce some decimals, maybe it's going to be a lot, right? It's going to be exactly the point. It's 0.123 all the way. So it's rounding it up to 0. So that's how you don't see anything. But if you have a large database, you are registering proper entries for man hours, personnel, it's striking an average over this, all of these entries, an average of it, but we have a lot of zeros. So an average of all of this is something very, very small, okay? But if we had entries like all of this, then when we refresh the workbook, the average is going to be equally 3. So if I go to, there's some circular reference in there, but we're going to fix it later. Okay, so if I come here, the average is 3, isn't it? Yeah, so if I come to the trading dashboard, then it's now in there as 3. Man hours worked is the same man hours worked. Now we don't have kilometers traveled because we got rid of the KPIs for road transport. So we're gonna find something to put there, just like what we did with the other template. You can look at all injuries or something. Maybe all injuries will be relevant for them, or man hours without LTI or something, right? Man days lost from LTI, or man hours lost from LTI, and man hours without LTI. Okay, so let's go for man hours lost from LTI. That's a lot of entry in there, and man hours without LTI. Okay, so where do we find that those data? We have a section, a report for man hours. So this is man days, man hours, right? You have the man hours worked, man days lost from LTI, man hours lost from LTI. So we have this, right? Now I could just use the equal sign to select. But then if I'm able to establish the fact that nobody's going to move this around, because sometimes people can move things around, then the cell reference will change. So that means that if I connect it to this, it can change. So sometimes the strategy around it is the fact that we hide the sheet, right? That's how come a lot of the cell references that are connecting to the dashboard and the various sheet, we hide them. So there's no room for anyone to tamper with it. But if I know I may not have to hide it, right? Then what I'm going to do next is that I'm trying to replicate the same name. Now the name should not change as well. If the name changes, then this formula is going to be wrong, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a VLOOKUP to pick up from this table, so that in case you move it around, it doesn't change the answers, right? I'm going to use a VLOOKUP function. I use the equal sign. I use the VLOOKUP function. I select the cell reference, which is S7, right? S7. And then I pick the range for the table, That is all of this, right? It's everything. And of course, these are just a few parameters. So we're not going to even go further, but there are some instances we need to go all the way down. And once I do that, I can now lock the cell. Now to lock the cell, maybe shift. I used to, okay, no, wait. I'm using a MacBook, but if you're using a Windows, it's F4. But I'm forgotten what I used to use for Mac. Sometimes I forget. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock both of them. Now to lock both of them is very simple. Just bring in this sign. We lock this, and we lock the other one as well. So this is absolute reference. If you don't lock, it's relative reference, right? But if you lock it, it becomes an absolute reference, which means that it's not going to change at all. There's no way. Let me just make sure that everything is smooth. Okay, so I'm done. So I'm literally locked the cell. So this table range, I've locked it, right? Now, where is the figures coming from? That's the second column, right? So column number 2. And then it has to be an exact match, right? So I just hit enter. I have it in there. And because the very first reference, this cell reference, it's a relative reference. So what I do is that I just drag it smoothly, right? If I drag it all the way down, it just gives me this figure because it's the same thing. It's referencing this, and I've locked this, right? So what I need to do next is that you just come to my trend chart, and then I hit equal sign. Then I come to the man hours sheet. Then I select, right? Man hours loss from LTI, and then man hours without LTI. Man hours without LTI. Where is the man hours? I just went there, right? Okay, I select this as well. I hit enter. So I've been able to fix this. We fixed that. We don't have anything on motor vehicle. Maybe we may have to keep something here. We don't know, because I need to consult with the person to find out what other KPIs. Maybe other ones that are relevant. But as far as I'm concerned, we don't have anything else to report, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge these ones. I'll unmerge. Now here is a space that we can just move around, right? So basically we fix the trend chart. That's interesting. Today we've been able to fix the trend chart, right? Now the lagging indicators, we need to equally fix this. Now the lagging indicators, they're not many anyway. They're not many, right? I could just come here, but let's check. This dashboard can take a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 4 here, 4 here. So a total of 12, right? That's basically what it is. The limit of a dashboard is based on the number of charts you can bring in. If a lot cannot go in there, you need to create another dashboard for it, right? So we go to the actual source data. How many lagging indicators do we have? We have 8. So let's just stick to 8, right? Let's stick to 8. So I'll go to the incident dashboard. And then that means I may probably have to resize some of them to look bigger, right? Because we have 4 at the bottom, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 6 already. So let's try and confirm which one is this. You open the pivot table, right? It's supposed to open, right? Let's try to open the pivot table field list, right? So this one is for total recordable case. We have total recordable case. That's good. This one is for fatality. That is good. This one is for lost time injury. This one is for restricted work case. This one is for medical treatment case. This one is for first aid cases, right? There are other ones. There's no data for it. So what other lag indicators can we introduce in there? All right. So we didn't arrange in chronological order, right? At least I know. Let's see. Okay, let's see which one we can bring, right? So fatality, medical treatment is in there already. Restricted work case is not. It's in there. First aid is in there already. All injuries. Okay, so let's say all injuries, right? All injuries. So this one will be for all injuries. and we can change it right away. No time, no need to waste time, or else we'll forget, right? All injuries. Okay. And the other one could be, because there are 8 of them, right? All injuries without LTI, all injuries without LTI. But is that really relevant? If that's relevant, then why not? We do it like that. Okay. So I could just take my time to do all of these entries. I'll get rid of them. I could now expand. I'll bring these ones down. I'll just size it nicely. I'll probably bring these ones down and size it nicely. Oops. You know, when you are selecting, you need to be careful what you are selecting, right? You double click to have access to the chart itself, not this one, because this one can equally move, not this one. Okay, so you double click to make sure you're selecting what you want to select. Okay, so I just move it, you know, nicely here. Now I can maintain the formatting by just clicking on the outline here, Control C, Control V, outline, Control V. Now this one is for all injuries without LTI. All right, so all injuries without LTI. So I just have to make sure that all of them are in here as well, right? So all the things we are capturing, they should all show. Total recordable case should show, all injuries without LTI should show. And oh man, let me just do something because I don't want to waste time trying to figure out what the color gradient is. So in order to make sure that the Excel will cache the color gradient for me, I just want to make sure that I do that right now. So it has registered there is a color gradient in there. So now I can select all of them and maintain the color gradient, right? So I just select this, select that. We have the KPIs in there. Now I want to maintain the same color gradient. So I just click on it. Other than that, I need to go and figure out what the color is, right? So I right click on the chart. I go to format data series. I go to paint fill. Give me the same color gradient, right? So that's just shortcut. I don't want to move around too much. So this is basically the fact that we can track each month and all of that. I mean, you can know the status of all of these lag indicators. So we can do that, right? That's pretty much it. And based on the fact that there's going to be a lot of sites, maybe it's better I expand it, and maybe I have to bring this one here because there's going to be a lot of, you know, departments. So I'll probably have to resize this and make it cool. Sometimes the dashboard is built based on the fact that it is a simple one site, one company, and all of that, but there's potential to actually scale up. And when you are trying to scale up, what it means is that you understand the essence of some of these stuff. You can just move things around, expand it nicely to accommodate a lot of other stuff. Okay, so we've been able to do fix the incident dashboard. It's left with incident rate. We'll probably fix that later on. Control of work. So the interesting thing about this template is that the person's key performance indicators or the objectives and targets, right? There are 4 of them. So what it means is that you can look at 4 charts, 4 different dashboards for them, apart from the lagging indicator that is accounting for the incident side of things, right? So the incident dashboard is for this, and then the leading indicators. Okay, the trend was just a general one, right? So we're going to look at which of the dashboard can we assign this to, right? But let's go to the target dashboard first. So the target dashboard, that's where the work is, right? Because that very sheet is a lot of moving parts. Target dashboard, where you are. All right, so when we come to the target dashboard, this is how it looks like. Basically, if you are selecting all your KPI, everything should populate. Initially, it was based on control of work and all of that. Now we are having about five of them, right? If I go here, we have 5. Okay, 4. And a lot. So we can try to allocate spaces for each of the 4. But how many of what space can we allocate? Let me try to bring this here because the target dashboard is related to the objectives and target. So I just bring this one here so I can be comparing and contrasting. So if I have 5, 6 KPIs here, it means I can have 1, 2, 3, 6. So here it's already taking care of the 6. Now over here is about, let's say, okay, 11, right? 11. Maybe I'll have a whole KPI also. This section all will be for the 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12, right? And then this section is 5. So 5, we are already exhausting the space, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then another 4. Okay, so that will gonna fit everything. So 4 is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So now we are coming to make sure that we correct everything. Now it's gonna take some time because there's a lot of KPIs and all the calculations are here. If I come all the way to the right, okay, and I hide, then I bring it closer, everything is here. So everything is based on a cell reference. Now let me just try to fix everything. Okay, so we want to replicate same. Now we are looking at training. Now what are the KPIs for training? Okay, so this section is going to be for training, and then it continues. Now let's look at the cell references. Okay, so the first item there is safety training. So instead of typing, we try to use a cell reference. So once you pick up the cell reference, in fact, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to change this to not a. So the C is going to be logged, but the 5 is not going to be logged, right? So once I do that and I drag, then everything will populate. Okay, so I just do that right away to reduce the workload. Same with this. I'm going to lock only the E and leave the, and then I'll make sure that this one populates. So everything is populating as expected. I make sure that I make the 5 a relative one, not an absolute reference, and then everything's going to populate, right? So we don't have anything about, all of those corrective action, open and close and all of that. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is working correctly here. And I'm going to do the same thing for this, but we don't have a target for safety culture and behavior-based training. There's no target for it. We need target to be able to see the score properly, and we can work on the, the charts basically. So I'll just introduce some percentages in here. Sorry, the targets in there. And then once I go into the target dashboard and I refresh all, okay, target is supposed to populate. So target is populating, right? But we have some circular reference error going on, but we're going to correct that later on because that's basically the essence of quality checking, right? So these are basically where we're going to allocate for this. Okay, and then right, the behavior-based safety actually is going to be everything. So let me just try and ungroup the dashboard. Take note, the dashboard are all grouped, right? They're all grouped, so we need to keep ungrouping. Okay, so we've ungrouped it. We have access to this. Okay, so we don't need this. I'm gonna get rid of it, right? Because we're gonna restructure the layout of the dashboard. So with this one, I'll definitely have to ungroup. I need to ungroup it. I need to keep on grouping so that I can have access to everything. Now take note that when you are grouping there, you could be going various levels of grouping, right? So you just have to know what you are, how many levels of grouping you did. So we grouped 1, we grouped again 2. So all the elements you kept adding, there were times you had to group it and all of that. There's some others we group them together. So we've grouped it, right? So I have access to, some of these stuff. I can put it somewhere. I have access to this. I can just shift it a little bit, and then I'm going to extend this. Now we're going to allocate all of this space for basically, all the training part, right? So the training part, the risk management part, that's a lot of KPIs. So let me just come here. Okay, so risk management, and we're going to pick the cell reference. Now we don't want an absolute cell. We want to make sure it's relative, right? So once I do that, I'm going to drag all the way down like this. I'm going to get rid of this. So the last item, what is the last item? The last item is, okay, it's not housekeeping. It's actually okay, so safety behaviors, safety procedure review. So I can try and get rid of this because we don't need it, right? I can try to remove this. So I'll just remove that relative absolute reference, make it relative, fix it, So everything is working smooth. Okay, this is basically going shortcuts. We don't have time to start from scratch. So we fixed it. Okay, so in terms of the percentages, everything is fixed now. Everything is smooth. So we'll be able to correct it. So all we need to do is just make sure that we extend the various progress chart to pick each of these entries. And then now there's going to be 10 sections for this and 10 sections. We don't need these ones. So I'll just remove it. And when it comes to, we probably have to ungroup this as well, right? So one is going to come here like this, and that's going to account for about 4, right? The last one is about 4. Okay. And this one is actually 5. So 5 and 4. So let's try to ungroup. We need to ungroup. So let's ungroup this. All right. Let's ungroup again. And now we have access to this. Okay. So basically we have access to the back and we can arrange it nicely. And then we're going to arrange this one as well. This one is for the other one, right? The name, maybe risk management. Yeah, risk management. This one is for risk management. That's a lot of KPIs. Okay, so I'll just remove these stuff. These are just symbols. These symbols, we can add them back later. For now, they're just distracting us. Okay, we'll fix it later. So all right, so this one is for one thing, this is for another thing, and we're gonna replicate it. So today's live stream maybe is very, very long. Sorry about that. We have work to deliver and we probably have to keep going. And as far as you guys are willing to just observe how you're doing it, that's fine with me. Because once this live ends, I'm gonna still continue. So it's probably better I continue like this. All right, so this one is inspection, right? For inspection, we bring in the inspection is 5. All right, so this section will be for inspection. And then the same thing. Now I can just remove these ones because we're not gonna use them. All right. All of these stuff, I may probably try to just delete them because I mean we are coming to do something different, right? So I'm gonna remove the the 27 from there. So inspection start from what? It starts from safety HSE inspection, right? So just make sure that everything is starting from the right point. Okay, so HSE inspection is coming from, all right, let's go in there again. Let's just go in there. We can start from it. We can make sure we are picking the right name, right? And once I do that, I hit the name, right? That was the name. No, sorry, it's just the name we need, right? Okay, so we can just drag it all the way down. So that is safety audit. It ends at safety audit. So this one will just come down to enter safety audit. So we can use this to make sure that now we don't know how it is referencing it. So let's go back and make sure that we are picking the right one before we make a mistake, right? So with this one, whenever you are picking from merge cells, you need to be aware that when you select the merge cell and you hit enter, it's not going to give you the number in there, right? So you need to get rid of the other one and you can hit enter like this. And once you select the cell, you can drag it all the way down like this and then you have all the entries. So let's see if everything is matching. Okay, so we've actually moved on to the other one. So let's try to delete. And then the last one is emergency preparedness, right? All right, so emergency preparedness is this one. Okay, so emergency preparedness, don't we have data? We don't have data for emergency preparedness, only 12, right? So let's go back and check. We have only 12. So the 12. Okay, so it starts from which one? It starts from quarterly mock and it is 12. So we need to make sure that we are connecting it with the right one. So it starts from 12 and we remove this. And then we can drag it all the way down. There's one last KPI we didn't introduce, right? So that's the last one, fire extinguisher. So we can delete this one. So in the same vein, we can make sure that this is correct, but again, it has to reference the correct cell. So instead of using the shortcut, let's play safe and go back and check. We are picking the target, sorry, the actual. So the other one is 16, this one is 12. So I'll just get rid of the last range, and then I have it there, and I can drag it all the way down to this, and that is fixed. Then I'm just gonna hit the equal sign, come here. Now pick the target, the actual. I get rid of this thing to avoid the spill. And then I'm gonna drag it all the way down. Okay. Now the target must always have numbers there so that you can get a percentages. I also not gonna get a percentage. Okay, so this one equally is for this, right? So all the ones we are not getting percentages is not giving us the score, right? And then we're even getting hash ref error, right? Or we are getting, error for the values. Now this one is comparing this. So same with this, and you can control C, paste here. This one's referencing this, and it goes on like that. Okay, now we are getting some values. We could get rid of the value errors by just using if error returns 0, but we don't want to do that because we know this is not an error that is acceptable error. We need to fix it now, or it is an error that can come anyway, but we want to make sure that we know we are designing our progress chart based on the 2 data points. There has to be 2 data points, the progress and the remainder, so that we can have access to both ends and customize. So I'm just going to give some data, some target for inspection and visibly felt leadership, right? So if I go to target source data, you notice that these are all, they don't have data, right? So I'll just put some 5 here for them. All right, all of these don't have data. Okay. So I just refresh all, but let's go to the target and refresh all so we can see, right? Once we refresh all, everything will start populating, right? Okay, so everything is back, but we are still having some circular reference, which we'll be fixing later on because it keeps popping up. We find it, right? When you're trying to trace where the errors are coming from, we just go to the formula bar, go to error checking, right? Error checking is going to tell us where the error is coming from. The error is complete. The error check is complete for the entire sheet. Okay. So we go to each of the sheets and we check the error. The errors could be coming from some sheets. It could even be coming from here. Exactly. So it's told us where the error is coming from. It's saying that there's a circular error. Div plus this is referencing itself again. So we'll fix it later on. Okay. So back to where we were. We've been able to do this. Okay. So basically we fixed it, but we still want to make sure that we have percentage. So the actual for quarterly building inspection, the actual doesn't have data, so it's not giving us something reasonable. So I need to quarterly building inspection. It doesn't have any data, so we put some data in there. Let's give it 2. All right. So we come to the target, we refresh all, and then we have some data, right? Yeah, we have some data, right? So now everything is back. So what we're gonna do now is that we know that this one is for this very chart is for tick 5. So we need to notice tick 5. So we quickly put it there, tick 5. We're not starting from scratch. We are trying to locate which one each of these charts are referencing. Tick 5 what? Training, right? So this one is even going to training. We need to probably, okay, tick 5 can be here. And then we go to this one. What's the referencing? Hazard awareness training. Okay. Sometimes the description of the KPI cannot go in there, so we want to keep it simple. This one is for this safety meeting, right? The reason why we did it, that we make sure we are using the reference is to make sure that the chart are referencing the various cells, and the scores, everything is going to be the same, but we want to make sure that everything is correct right now. So we want to check this also. We select the pivot chart, sorry, the progress chart. It's a donut chart, right? PTO training, right? Just for PTO training. All right, so today we are going to finish at, we're going to do 2 hours. All right, we're going to do this one as well. This is for firefighting training. All right, firefighting training. Now we need the last one, okay? So we just do Control V and we bring it here. This is the last one. So which one did we miss? Safety culture, right? This one, safety culture. So we bring it down here and just take note that the moment we select, everything is distorted, right? So we need to ungroup it. All right, we need to keep ungrouping. We need to ungroup again. All right, so now we have access to each individual element. So we need to select the correct score. For firefighting, the score is not firefighting. This one, the score is 10%. The target is 2. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is that we can pick the formatting of this. You use a paintbrush and you paste on this, and it comes back, right? So that's what exactly we're gonna be doing for each one. This is the actual. We use the equal sign to select the actual for this. The actual is 2. We hit enter. All right, we're gonna do for the other one as well. We select carefully. It's up there, right up there. Sometimes it can be hidden behind and all of that. So use the equal sign to select the target and hit enter. So you can see the amount of work that went into creating a dashboard like this. It's not just a one-time thing. It took a lot of effort, especially when we want to make it pre-built, right? So we just pick the paintbrush to select the formatting of that one. We take our time to select this one and select the other one. All right, we need to be careful so that it doesn't change the color of the. Okay, it doesn't want to allow me, no issues. I'll just try to bring it up. I'll separate it. I see what happened. It's still grouped. It's still grouped to the other one, so I have to ungroup it. Okay, so I just ungroup it again because it's still grouped with another element. Exactly, I thought as much. So I just copy this, and then I've take my time to locate where it is. Oh man, it doesn't want to give me access. No issues, no issues. So what it's gonna do is I now have to bring it out somewhere so that we can see it. We can see it. So that's the whole thing. You cannot see now because it looks like, well, not an issue. I could just come to here and change the color, right? I could do that. It's not a big deal. I just wanted the same color as this. So I'll just double click and paste it over it. Okay, sometimes Excel wants to play smart, right? It doesn't want to allow certain things. That is just normal. So let me just bring it back like how you used and just use a, just change the color. The color is, I think, a color like this, probably a darker color like that. Okay, it's too bright. It has to be consistent. So maybe it was like this. Yeah, probably exactly. So that's it. So I just align it nicely at the top, and then I could group together. But let's fix this one. Now, if I select this, take note that the progress is a small one, and then the remainder is a bigger one. I want the same format as the other one, the color. I want the same color, right? So to get the same color, I'll double click on this data point, like what we did for the column chart or for the bar chart. So it has to register the gradient fill in there. It didn't register. It's not registering. No issues. If I double click here, okay, it gives the gradient fill. Oh my goodness. I wanted to just capture it. So I could use the gradient fill. Let me double click on that data point. I have okay, it didn't give me gradient fill. No issues, but I know what the gradient fill is. I'll just double click on it. Then I'll choose it. So I think the gradient fill is red and white, I guess. I think it's red and white. What went? Oh man, my sheet are just closed. Okay, all right. So no issues. I think that we need to bring this thing to an end. So probably just have to end this for now. I hope I saved. In case I didn't save, then that means that I have some work to do, right? I'll just open again. The last time I saved was Okay, I saved, right? I saved it. No issues. All right, so I think that an hour has gone into this already. I'll just end it right here, okay? Because there's a lot that I need to do, and I believe that this has been insightful for all of you. I'll just remove my screen right now. Okay, so I believe that you find this tutorial very insightful. We've done about 1 hour and 52 minutes, and it has been an amazing journey with you guys on how we customize some of these templates. As you can see, it's a lot of bits and pieces, and we need to make sure that we are very detailed about each and every cell and reference cell and how all of them are connected. And that is just the reason why it's quite a bit difficult to customize, but we are trying our best to share the knowledge. But keeping it simple is actually the best. But when it's within a bigger scope like this, equally it's a bit cumbersome. But once we're able to smash all of these stuff, make sure that everything is properly connected, then all you're going to be doing is to just focus on building your database, and all the reports are going to be generated for you. Okay, so thank you all for your time, and then I'm going to see you guys again in another video. In fact, I'm going to see you guys next week, Monday, and then we're going to look at the final work, and then we'll see what other solutions we'll be bringing your way. Thank you all, and have an amazing weekend. Okay, stay safe and all the best. See you bye for now, and see you again soon. Okay.